5 best PS2 beat 'em up games. Number 25. Rise to Honor. Rise to Honor is the sort of game that casual players and people who don't normally play games at all will find quite attractive. It's very simple and the cinematic aspects of its presentation are pretty impressive. However, as a game, it's a short, overly simple endeavor that you can expect to finish within a day. Number 24. Dynasty Warriors 4 Xtreme Legends. The game cannot be widely recommended to new players simply because it does exactly the same things the previous 4 games did. But for Xtreme fans of the Dynasty Warriors series, this game is a pretty big value with a solid bulk of new gameplay. Number 23. Dynasty Warriors 5. Its graphics and music are pretty much the same as the last one, but that's to be expected with back-to-back sequels. If you have a little pent-up anger or just tired of thinking and want to take a break from what's going on around you, Dynasty Warriors 5 will be just what you're looking for. Number 22. Hog. The action sequences are fun, but the combat is simple enough and the story mode is short enough that the game's lasting appeal is limited, unless you're a huge fan of the Hulk. Yet while it won't take you very long, it'll still be a largely satisfying experience. Number 21. State of Emergency. In the end, the best part about State of Emergency is the way every facet of the game comes together to form a perfect feeling of panic. It's also disturbingly satisfying to find a shotgun and turn a crowded mall into a complete and total bloodbath. As a result, this game is most certainly not for children or the easily offended. Number 20. Rise of the Kasai. Rise of the Kasai presents an engaging story and the gameplay is still fun to pull off, but with the new problems the experience is less than it could have been. There are still a fair amount of rough edges and it would have been better if more time had been put in to fine-tune the game. Number 19. Gauntlet Dark Legacy. If you have a group of bored, bloodthirsty friends visiting, having Dark Legacy around will definitely be an asset. You'll even get into the single-player game for a little while or a long while depending on your attention span. But ultimately, it's hard to argue that the game has any long-standing single-player value. Number 18. Dynasty Warriors 4 Empires. Dynasty Warriors 4 Empires isn't exactly a complete overhaul for the series, since the graphics, sound, and hack-and-slash gameplay remain almost identical to the regular Dynasty 4. But the Empires mode essentially gives you a more complete overall experience by adding a degree of complexity that was missing in the older games. Number 17. Dynasty Warriors 3 Xtreme Legends. Did you like Dynasty Warriors 3 and find yourself wanting more when the game was over? If you answered yes, you should most definitely seek out Xtreme Legends. Xtreme Legends is a perfect example of a game with a built-in audience, and the members of that audience should be pretty happy with the additions the game makes to the series.
defeated an officer.
Number 16. Shinobi. This isn't a game that everyone will like, and you can tell it would have been even better if it had spent more time in development. But those looking for a game with lots of challenge and a distinct sense of style would do well to check out Shinobi. Number 15. Dynasty Warriors 2. Overall, Dynasty Warriors 2's beat-em-up gameplay is simple enough to make it easy to get into, and the game is interesting enough to keep you entertained for a while. This game is definitely a solid must-have for fans of the genre. Number 14. Samurai Warriors Xtreme Legends. Samurai Warriors Xtreme Legends is, in essence, an expansion pack that just happens to be playable on its own. If you do want this game, it provides a nice boon of additional content that should add plenty of lasting fun for those who just won't get tired of hacking and slashing their way through feudal Japan. Number 13. Buffy the Vampire Slayer Chaos Bleeds. Though this game doesn't have significant improvements, it provides enough new and interesting achievements to make it a great follow-up. In the end, Chaos Bleeds is an excellent, well put together action-adventure game that most fans of the genre should be able to enjoy, and any Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan will love.
Fresh meat.
Number 12. Forgotten Realms Demon Stone. On its own terms, Forgotten Realms Demon Stone is a satisfying adventure, and in the bigger picture, it stands to introduce the fantastical world of Dungeons and Dragons to a broader audience. Regardless of that, it's a good game that's well worth playing. Number 11. Samurai Warriors. When all is said and done, Samurai Warriors is a game that sticks pretty closely to its roots, and in that regard, it does a fine job of being what it wants to be. And anyone who's had an interest in the series but has yet to take the plunge will find a fine starting point in Samurai Warriors. Number 10. Bujingai, The Forsaken City. Bujingai is a perfectly fine piece of work that should please just about any fan of slick, stylized action games. Although the game isn't especially long, it's worth playing through a second time on the hard level. If you were a big fan of games like Devil May Cry or Otogi, Bujingai is most certainly worth checking out. Number 9. God Hand. Once you finish the game's grueling last battle, there's a good chance you'd want to go through the hard difficulty setting. This isn't a game for people who've come to expect action games to try to do a lot of different things. Rather, it's for those who can appreciate when a game does one good thing really well.
What, are you nervous?
Number 8. Spider-Man the Movie. Spider-Man the Movie seems like a bigger and better version of previous Activision Spider-Man games that have appeared on the PlayStation and the Dreamcast, and for the most part, that's true. And for good measure, the sheer number of extras along with the high degree of challenge should keep you busy for some time.
Father!
Number 7. Dynasty Warriors 3. Dynasty Warriors 3 offers lengthy replay value by allowing players to take up a number of roles on all three kingdoms in the otherwise fixed campaign. Those looking for an action-oriented game with plenty to unlock and lots to do will be more than satisfied with the sizable package offered by Dynasty Warriors 3. Number 6. Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. Midway has done a great job of taking a very popular, well-entrenched franchise and moving it over to another genre with success. Shaolin Monks isn't without its faults, but the game's tenets are good. The moves, the fighting, the unlockables, and its surprising level of deaths all count for so much. Grab a friend and play this, you'll have a blast. Number 5. Dynasty Warriors 4. Serious Dynasty Warriors fans will surely eat up the new features, and if you've never tried one of these games before, this is as good as any to start with. However, less avid fans of the series looking for a fresh new gameplay experience need not apply. Number 4. The Mark of Kri. The Mark of Kri does a number of things well, and it introduces some original concepts, but unfortunately the game's design doesn't play to those strengths. But you may find yourself satisfied by playing The Mark of Kri, a game with some decidedly great ideas.
Stay on your feet.
Number 3. The Warriors. It doesn't really matter if you're familiar with the film it's based on. The Warriors delivers as a completely stand-alone work, and any fan of beat-em-up games is certain to enjoy it on some level. But if you have seen the film, all the better.
Don't lose no teeth. Need to keep Chomper going strong.
The boy can flex. Now let's see you waste these balls. This kid looks good.
Number 2. Viewtiful Joe 2. Viewtiful Joe 2 is so similar to its predecessor that if you played the first game, you'll already know if you're interested in playing the sequel. If you haven't played the first Viewtiful Joe, you owe it to yourself to check out one of the most innovative action, and this sequel is a fine place to start. Number 1. Viewtiful Joe. If you've already played it on the GameCube, none of the additions are compelling enough to justify a second version, but the PlayStation 2 release is most definitely on par with the original. In short, those looking for something new and exciting in action gaming should definitely add Viewtiful Joe to their collection if they haven't already.
Go, fella!
Talismans. I shall have my revenge.